But let's get down to business here. I want to start off with the first question that was asked, and you feel free, everybody, to type in your questions, your comments, because I'm going to check that board as often as I can, because I also believe in sharing of best practices. Okay, so once again, welcome to the March 10th edition of the Ask Stuart Hour. We're going to get started with a question that was sent in by Stacy. This was the first one in from Sanjay Travel and Tours. I'm not sure Stacy's in the house yet. She wasn't sure if she could come, but I promised I'd answer. So listen up, everybody. I'm going to bring this up for everybody's comments as well. I'm loving this course. I'm a new travel agent, and this has been very eye-opening. I want to start a travel club for women. And as I go through, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. Do you have any suggestions on how I go about doing this? Any help would be appreciated. Stacy from Sanjay Travel and Tours. So let me ask, I'll put this question out there. If any of you have had experience starting a travel club, or you had been a member of a travel club, and I'd like to give my 2 cents on this. Over the many years I've been in the industry, 30 years now, travel industry, I've seen, especially being on the supplier side and the consortia side for so many years, exposure to thousands and thousands of travel professionals. I've seen many try to start travel clubs, and Stacy, I mean, it's a great idea. It really is, because you sort of have a built-in, you're creating your own audience, while a lot of times travel professionals, we start off with a niche, and we seek out to find consumers who will fit into that niche. Perhaps it's people who like to travel to specific areas. Perhaps it's groups, right? But you can even have a niche within groups. But a travel club, here's my 2 cents. It can't just be a travel club for women. There's got to be more to it. There's got to be more of a definition. Will you, and maybe you already know this, Stacy, but will you be traveling? Will you be the leader, the group leader? Will you be escorting? Is it for sort of girls' getaways, women who are married, who just want to get away on certain types of trips, which I'll get to in a second? Or is it of single women? Is it single women getaways? I think the most important thing is to define who you want in the club, because if you don't define it well, then they don't know if you're talking to them. They need to know. The most important thing is why. Why should I join a travel club? So number one, be very clear and specific on who you're talking to, who you want in the club, as fine-tuned as possible. Number two, it's got to be the old, what's in it for me? Why should I join it? Okay, you're talking to me, but why should I join the club? And one thing I'm going to tell you right now, Stacy, is it can't be about discounts and deals. I'll say it again. It can't be about discounts and deals, because unless you have some amazing connection, perhaps your uncle is the owner of a cruise company, to get discounts and deals in this environment is extremely difficult. They're still gonna shop you, and the bottom line is, what we teach in boot camp is never to sell stripped down, bare bones, off the shelf products. Right, you guys, you regulars hear me say that all the time. So what is it? Is it that you're going to help educate them? Are you some kind of an expert in history or culture or photography, or something that there's a benefit? Number one, they're women, a specific type of woman, and number two, there's some affinity. So here, Stacy, you're playing the role as a group leader, really, as part of this club, and people are only going to join the club if they know they fit and they see value in it for them. So what I'm trying to get at in number two is, what's in it for me? That's me as the person saying, should I join you? What's in it? What's the value? I'm already so busy. I read so many blogs. I'm busy. I'm a mom, or I'm single, or I have a busy job. What's in it for me? What are you going to provide for me? What's the benefit? Okay, the value. How are you going to help me? How can you change my life? Now let's get real now. I want to really push your buttons here. How are you going to transform my life if I'm a member of your travel club? Okay, so answer those questions, and it could be as simple as a blog that's dedicated to these particular type of women you want in the club, and to the particular services that you're going to provide, the information, the education, the motivation, the inspiration. Define what you're going to do for me, and don't make about discounts, deals, and sales. And if it is all about groups, well, that's awesome. Perhaps you're going to be the group leader, or you're going to get other women, maybe they're authors, they're celebrity chefs, it's not that easy to get these kinds of people. I hope that helps. And I wanted to spend a little extra time on this. I'm going to read your all comments in a second, because I truly have seen so many clubs come and go over the years. And they're not easy to start. Because a club really has to have a really set definition. These days it's less of a club initiative, but more of a following initiative. Who's going to follow me on my special Facebook page that I've created about women in travel um, who's going to follow my Instagram and my Pinterest? Who's going to sign up to receive my once a week blog posts that give tips and information about travel for women, how to travel safely, how to get the most out of travel. Again, I don't know, Stacy, what your specific is, but and I'm talking to everybody here, whether you're starting a club or not. It's important that every one of you, if I come to you and say, what do you do? Why, how are you going to change my life? Why should I book through you? Why should I follow you? Whether you call it a club or not, you need to have all these things lined up. And if you can't explain this to me clearly, succinctly, specifically, with clarity, then I'm not going to know who you are. I'm not going to know why I should sign up on your site and hang out with you. Tell me why I should hang out with you. I hope that helps. Now, let's check the board here and see if anybody had any comments. No! Oh, my goodness. Nobody had any comments. But so give me feedback here. Let me know. Did that make any sense to anybody out there? And then I'm going to go to question 2. I really believe it. And I am looking to see if anybody wants their mic turned on yet. We're going to go to the next question. You're right. This is Sam. I'm going to read Sam's comment here. You're right. You need to focus on something unique. I have a friend, Mary, who is an artist and has a women's travel club focused around art classes for beginning and experienced painters. This is wonderful stuff. This is Sam's sharing now. She does trips to Italy, where they meet up with a mutual friend of ours, an American, who lives in Florence. Friend in Florence has masters in Renaissance art and teaches at the university and does private tours for groups to Academia and Uffizi. Did I pronounce that right? Uffizi. I love the Italian language. As well as does a great 3-hour walking tour. And they take local buses out into different areas of Tuscany to paint. Right on the money. Thank you, Sam, for demonstrating this. You see, that's how you can create a club. You see how Sam just demonstrated how one of her friends has this, and it's specific, very specific. So any woman who's not a painter, who doesn't aspire to be a painter, they have no interest in it, they're not going to join that club. But for women who aspire to be a painter, who already are and want to experience this, travel Italy and get these kinds of really focused experience in their craft, in their trade, in their hobby, it's golden. That's the club that you want to be a member of. Thank you, Sam, for sharing that. That's really awesome. Melanie, I have a group of women who follow me along with my clients and take my regional group tours. The group originally was born out of my ladies' Bible study class I teach each week. That's a wonderful example. Thank you, Melanie, right off the bat for being a contributor to the success of today's Ask Stuart Hour. I want to read this again, everybody, because there's a couple of elements I want to pick up on. This is Melanie sharing, a new group boot camper. I have a group of women who follow me along with my clients and take my regional group tours. Okay, follow, keyword follow. Call it a club, don't call it a club. They're following Melanie. Why? Because they're impressed with her knowledge and experience. She obviously does good by them. Melanie, you built up integrity, you built in trust, and they like you. They like you. They want to hang with you. They're going to go where you go. Now, here's the second part of this. The group originally was born out of my ladies' Bible study class I teach each week. So, friends who, everybody else out there, what else are you doing in your life? Perhaps travel is full-time or maybe is not full-time. But even if it is full-time, are you a member of a Bible study class? Are you a member of a book club? Remember, we always talk about this. This is great, Melanie, because everyone says, where do I find more business? Where do I find more business? And what do I always answer? I always answer, all the business you need is in your own backyard. I'll say it again. All the business you need is in your own backyard. You're sitting on it right there. But sometimes in the travel business, and so many salespeople too, they look out. I got to go get the business. You go to networking events, okay? You run ads, you make cold calls outside of your domain, people who don't know you. And that's fine. I'm not putting that down, but before you look out, look in. And you start in your inner circle. Because, Melanie, that's your Bible study class, but maybe in your inner circle of friends and family, they're also a part of a Bible study class or a teacher, or they're part of another group. And then you look at that outer ring, that outer circle, and that outer circle, because we all have our own circles of friends and family, right? Sometimes doesn't mean that our family's in our most inner circle now, does it? Not at all. And a lot of us have family, friends who are innermost circle. And just by looking in your own backyard of all the people you know, organizations and clubs and associations you're a member of, or your spouse, well, then look at that next circle and ask them. It's one thing to ask everybody, do you have any special events on the horizon? Remember? And this is for you, Elaine, and this is for you, Melanie. You may not have heard me say this yet, but before you hang up the phone with every single client, every single day, no matter how many times you've talked to that person, you're going to ask the question, hey, do you have any special events on the horizon? Because one day somebody's going to say, as a matter of fact, yes. And you might be able to provide group travel as the solution, as an amazing opportunity to make that special event even more special. Okay, so Melanie, again, thanks for sharing that. That was really, really awesome. And Melanie says the tours all feature some component relating to Christianity, but include other activities as well. So what you're demonstrating, Melanie, is that you're not all things to all people. So when you go to promote and you go to communicate the event, this group, it's very specific. And that's why people know you, love you, and follow you and keep coming back, and they tell others. So my guess is business probably gets referred to you because you're known for delivering what you promise. You set something up that has sort of expectations that your tours will be Christianity based. So whether it's Bible study and spirituality and Christianity, or whether it's art, painting, or whether it's wine connoisseurs, wine lovers, or these days beer or vodka, it's specific. And this is wonderful. Melanie goes on to say, yes, many bring their friends who are not in the class, and they have become regular travels with me too. Let that be an inspiration to all of you. That's fantastic. But Melanie says she has lost audio. Uh-oh. So has anybody else lost audio? Has anybody else lost audio? Hello? It's back. Whoosh, good. So here's the deal. I want you guys to know. I'm going to go to the next question. Oh, hey, Mickey. Mickey's in the house. Let me see who else has joined us. And I'm going to go to the next question. I want to get to the folks who sent in questions. Let's see. Deb. Hi, Deb. Welcome. Deb logged in, and Mickey's here. Hey, Linda. Linda's here. Will is in the house. Hey, Will. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm so grateful. I just love doing this. I look forward to this every other week. I really, really do. Okay, here we go. Hi, Deb. Okay, the next question is from Sam. Now, listen, everybody, because I want to get your take on this. My guess is what I'm about to read is a challenge, is an issue, is a concern that each and every one of you have faced very frequently. Okay, so I'm going to read this. Now, listen, I want to get your take on this. I have some answers, I think, but I want to hear what you guys do. Thank you, Sam, for sending this in from Travel in Good Company. 2 weeks ago, long-term clients, grandparents, requested a quote for a family vacation for 12. They told me everything looks good, but they didn't want to put down a deposit because their daughter, with their husband and 2 kids, had questions. Right? Everybody got that? Grandparents, good clients of Sam, family, a family trip, 12 people, but they weren't ready to put down a deposit because the daughter, one of the families, part of that 12-person group, had questions. They have no idea what questions, but they just keep telling me, this is Sam writing, that she's going to call. This is Sam writing now. Sam has left 2 voicemail messages for the daughter. And the parents don't want to give out the email address. Okay? I've contacted the clients 3 times to let them know I have not heard from their daughter, and they have reminded her, but apparently the daughter is not reaching out to Sam. Have never met the daughter, don't want to make a pest of myself, so what do? Do I drop it and hope the daughter eventually gets around to calling me? I'm going to check the boards right now, and I want to see if somebody wants to turn their microphone on before I give you my 2 cents here. Anybody want to share? Type something in. What would you do? You've pretty much thought you had this 12-person group locked up. The grandparents know you, love you, trust you, but their daughter, one of the families, said, no, don't book it yet. I have questions. Because I know why they're saying no. I don't see any comments here or requesting a mic turn on, so I'm going to answer this here. So here's my take on it. Okay? You probably all experienced this before. It's either one of 2 things, Sam. It's either, now everybody listen, because you can apply this to everybody who doesn't call you back. Okay? And now, you think the daughter would because it's a recommendation from her, either her mother or her father. But maybe that's not enough. So number 1, Sam, is that it's possible that this daughter may not entirely trust her parents and therefore may not entirely trust you by default. They don't know you, Sam. They've never booked with you, and the daughter is leery. Or number 2, I'm going to get back to number 1 in a second. Number 2 is it's possible, now listen to me carefully, consider this, that it's not as high a priority for her as it is for you and her parents. A lot of times people have stuff going on in their lives. Have you ever had stuff going on in your life that becomes a distraction? We all have a to-do list every day, every week, every month. What we never count on are situations that arise in life, whether it's about a child, or it's an illness, or it's school, or it's jury duty, it's a job-related issue. It could be, Sam, it could be a million reasons why the daughter hasn't called you back, because of reason number 2, that she just can't. There's stuff in her life that's more important right now. So the first thing I would suggest is back off. Don't put any more pressure, because if it is number 2, you could be construed as a pest. And the daughter's just too busy to reach out because she's got other priorities right now. But she may be grateful, Sam, that you've been reaching out. So don't, let's not automatically assume. But, one thing for sure is you've done good. She knows you're alive. She's got your contact information, and she's going to reach out to you in time. And you certainly don't want to give any negativity to the grandparents, your clients, because you don't want to tick them off and be a pest to them. Now, if it's number 1, Sam, because, maybe this daughter and her husband, maybe they have their own travel professional. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're used to booking online and they're going to do their own due diligence and check it out. More than likely, that could be the case. So what I would suggest there is, now listen up, everybody. Instead of trying to get the daughter on the phone, because the daughter may feel that she's going to be sold to, and nobody wants to be sold to, what I suggest you do is see if you can set up. Now, if you're all local, Sam, if you're all local, set up a little, hey, let me take you guys out for coffee. Let's all meet for lunch. I'll come to one of your homes. Let's all meet. So it's sort of safe territory for the daughter. If they're not local, have a conference call. Say, hey, listen, let's jump on the phone, all of us, for 15 minutes. And you're not going to present anything, just like I do in the Ask Stuart Hour. I work off of your questions. Okay, so just say, hey, let's jump on a 10-minute call. And I'd love for you to, it's a perfect opportunity for you and for your daughter to ask me questions. And keep it open-ended like that. Nice and easy. Okay. And, the other thing I can say to you is that, I would definitely try that, Sam. And to everybody else is, you can only help who you can help. I always quote my very good friend and mentor, Mike Marshef. He says there's two kinds of people in the world: people you can help, people you can't. Maybe you can't help them. And we want to win them all, but not, Mickey Mantle was one of the greatest home run hitters in all of baseball, but he struck out more times than he hit home runs. And I'm not saying to give up on it, Sam, but I'm just giving you some perspective here. But that would be my strategy. That would be my strategy. Tell me if that helped. Then we're going to go on to the next question. It was a really good question. Elaine said, listen, I think there's a time to hold them and a time to fold them. I'd walk away. In the words of Kenny Rogers, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Great stuff, Elaine. Thank you very much for sharing that. And that could be the case. That's why, Sam, if that's it, I wouldn't call anymore, put anything out. Try to sell yourself because they don't want to be sold to, but perhaps offer to take them out for coffee, take them out for lunch, where it's a safe place and you could all talk. Linda says maybe the daughter's shopping and wants a cheaper deal. Absolutely. It's entirely possible. Now, my guess is that Sam has probably already revealed the package and the pricing to her clients. They're her clients. And of course, the grandparents probably told the daughter, here's how much it is. And absolutely, they're probably shopping. And if it's a group, I don't know, Sam, if you're able to build in a package so that when they go to shop it's more money, and let them come back and say, it's more money. I found it cheaper. And that's where you come into action, Sam, and you say, well, not really. Let me explain what I've built in that you're going to end up paying for when you get there. That's going to cost you more, that may not be available, that you're going to kick yourself if you didn't book. And that's where you position yourself, Sam, is invaluable, because you know all the things that can go wrong and you take care of it in advance. So when you book something real cheap on the internet, as they say, you're on your own and it's going to end up costing you more. You're going to come back and say, darn, I wish I had booked with you. So, right, Linda? There's nothing we can do. We can't prevent people from shopping online. And in fact, I take the opposite approach. And for our newbies, Elaine and Melanie, I say, because we can't deny that they're going to shop, then I would suggest you say, go ahead. If you've got the time to research and shop and compare, knock yourselves out. Just know that as your travel professional, I've already done that for you. And you can even go so far as to say is more than likely, you're going to find a cheaper price by $1 or $2 online. And they're going to go, oh, really? Well, why are you charging me more? Well, I'm charging you more because you're going to get so much more. I don't sell bare bones stripped down off the shelf product because that vacation is going to be okay. You're going to come back with complaints. You book with me, you pay $1 or $2 more, but it's not okay. It's not just good. It's not just better. It's the best. That's what I do. And for all of you, again, if this daughter contacts you, Sam, and says, what are you good for? Why do I need you? I thought travel professionals were obsolete. You simply say this. There's 3 things I do. And if you don't want any of these 3 services that I provide for my clients, then we'll be friends and you can book online all day long. Number 1, you know what I'm going to say, everybody, right? You know what I'm going to say. Number 1, I reduce stress and risk. Number 2, I add value and convenience. And number 3, I'm in the business of transforming lives. Now, of course, number 3, everybody, you can whatever words you want to use, you're creating memories, that's fine. But I just think the word transformation is big, and I'm not sure too many travel professionals ever use the word transform, but I am a believer that vacations transform lives, don't you? I hope that helps. Sam says, I like the idea of getting together. I get together often with the grandparents. Beautiful. Wonderful. Wonderful. All right, let's see. Anybody else is joined? I'm going to go to the next question. Hey, Jalal. Jalal is in the house. Welcome, my friend. I'm so glad you're here, coming in from Canada. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, let's go here. And still nobody yet wants to turn their microphone or their camera on, and that's okay. But we're going to go to the next question here. And this was sent in from Trisha. And to be honest with you, this one stumped me because I don't have an answer, but I want to ask if any of our fellow boot campers do. Okay, Trisha from KHM Travel Group says, has anyone used promotion insurance before? I'm part of an event planning committee for a major event here in South Dakota, so I can't have a booth, but I want to gather some prospective information from the attendees. So she wants to build her list through doing some kind of a promotion or giveaway. She's thinking of doing a trip giveaway. And there's insurance that covers a large prize in a contest of chance. Whether it's a hole-in-one or a dice roll or a jar count. So she's really inquiring about promotion insurance. So my question to all of you is, have you or do you know anybody who has ever used promotion insurance before? Have you ever given away gift certificates or trips, and it's given away based on some games of chance? There's risk involved, so you need insurance. Admittedly, I am stumped. I don't know anything about this. I'm certainly willing to give our friends at Travel Insured, because Isaac was on our show. He was one of our expert guests where we talked about insurance. I can ask him, Tricia, but I'm going to, I'm turning this up here, and I want to see if anybody else has any responses. Let's hear. Jalal says, thanks, always a pleasure. So glad you're here, Jalal, truly. Linda, okay, Linda has a question we're going to get to. Great question. Hang on here. And then, okay, so I just want to finish off this topic, everybody. Jenny says, is this for a hole-in-one golf prize? I don't think Trisha is on with us right now, but I do believe Trisha posted this in our Facebook. So for my new friends in Group Boot Camp, I definitely use Facebook as a great way to connect with other members, because there's a very nice sharing of ideas and best practices. So, Jenny, I would, if you don't mind, take a look at Trisha's post. I know Jean Ann had asked a question about that, so it's there, and some people are reading it, and perhaps you can help Trisha, because I don't know the answer to that, and I don't really know how that works with that kind of insurance. Okay. Linda has a question, and Linda's question is that she would like to get, and Elaine, I'm going to do your question next after I answer some that are here online. Welcome, everybody. For those who have just come in, this is the March 10th edition of the Ask Stuart Hour. And I would like to get my family together for a family reunion, but how would I start the promotion? So Linda wants to do it. She's going to be the group leader. How do you start the promotion? Linda, you've come to the right place. It's all in boot camp for you. And to be very honest with you, if I tell you just to go to the group launch sequence, and I added more this week, okay? Follow my group launch sequence plan. Listen, everybody. I don't know who of you, are any of you following my river cruise? I'm doing a family and friends river cruise, and it's almost the same thing, Linda, is what you want to do here. I didn't want to get into, I don't do what you do. I'm not a travel professional, but I'm great friends with Christine at Alma. I've done river cruising. We went on our honeymoon together. We loved it so much that we wanted to go again. And my mom and my wife Kimberly's parents said they would love to go. They love river. And I said, all right, so let's go together. Let's all go. And I said, you know what? Let's go nuts here. I've never done my own partial ship charter, an actual partial ship charter, and that's what I'm doing. So I don't know if any of you are following there. If you're not, you're welcome to follow to watch how I launch, because I did 2 launches. So Linda, my point is, even though it was my family and friends, I still did the group launch sequence. Because we can't fall into that trap of just putting out the price and saying, okay, we're open for business, and then doing the promotions. No, 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 no. We still need to do the presentations or the series of events. You do not reveal the pricing until that very, very last event. And usually the next day is when you open up for bookings. Now, in my case, I didn't do a VIP sale. I didn't need to because it's a small group of family and friends, right? You know, and we did a second launch because we had a new group of interested people. So we did a series of 3 events. The first launch, we did a series of 4. So Linda, I would do the group launch sequence. Don't leave anything to chance. Just because it's family, your family, it doesn't mean it's a gimme. I don't think we can ever fall into that trap ever again, that just because everyone is jumping up and down saying, we're going to go, that they're going to go. Because it's certainly not guaranteed. And the best part of what you're doing, Linda, is that you're the travel professional and you're the group leader. So you know you can rely on yourself to get the stuff done. Okay, so I hope that helps. And you can even, the best part is you're in the best position, Linda, to get feedback from family. Where do they want to go? This kind of stuff. But again, don't spill the beans and, roll out the information, build the excitement. The funny part is, and this is the truth. You can ask my mom. You can ask my mother and father-in-law. I wouldn't take their money. They were like, so let me send you the deposit because we're going. I'm like, no, I'm not telling you how much because they were inviting some of their closest friends. Because no, I'd rather you not feel inclined to tell your friends because their friends were asking how much. That's all people want to know is how much, and they can make their decision and they're gone. You can say $10, and they'll go, oh, that's too much. Well, let me tell you what that $10 includes. So the price comes dead last, even if it's for your own parent. True. And Linda says, should I send them the survey first? Absolutely, Linda. Absolutely. A survey is great. You follow the group launch sequence exactly. Do the survey, because I had to do a survey to know when a good time would be. And I didn't, that was sort of the start of the sales process, but not. I was getting them engaged, okay? But I was giving them some skin in the game because they were helping me craft this without giving too much away. And that started that whisper campaign, which was next to save the date once I got information. Okay, Jalal says, I got a group quote from a tour operator in Dubai that had mentioned for a sports event. It's a good rate. Now, this is great. Thanks for sharing, Jalal. When we were on with Tommy Ryder, he's the head of groups with Travel Bound. And it was a really great show, folks. It's in the podcast page if you haven't heard it, because he has a company that builds those pre and post programs, those special events, those private tours, so that you create a package that is untouchable, that is completely high value and unique. And you get it in pricing, and you create packages, and you mark it up, and you give people an amazing experience they could never do on their own. So I'm glad to hear that, because I remember that, Jalal, that he had recommended there was somebody in Dubai and for a sports event, and it's a good rate. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you for sharing that. And if you know what, reach out to Tommy and let him know. Let him know. Okay, let's see here. Jalal says, now there's someone who is offering a similar package, not a travel agent, but a good wisher, selling cheaper, and people calling me, and this is exactly what I replied. Oh, okay, listen, everybody. So this is part 2 of Jalal's story, because he put a package together, and people out there were shopping it, and somebody else came up with a cheaper price. And you can count on that always happening, right? And here is what Jalal said. I reduced stress, and I said, compare apples to apples, right? So Jalal used the phrase that pays. When you tell them what you do, thank you, Jalal. And yes, part two to that. This goes for you, Linda. This goes for you, for all of you. We were talking about even Sam. It's important. We tell people, go ahead and shop till you drop if you've got all the time to shop, but make sure when you compare a price, it's apples to apples, because there's all kinds of fees. There's gratuities that you're going to be paying. There's taxes, this, that, and the other thing. There's tips for guides, all this kind of stuff. And it's okay to make them a little bit nervous too, right, Jalal? Because you've included all these things. You've taken care of it for them. And you don't want them don't get cut short. If you see that lower price point, it's probably because you're getting a lot less and it's going to end up costing you a lot more. Trust me. So good stuff, Jalal. I appreciate you sharing that. Linda says, I also had a lady at the Pueblo Business Women's Network ask me about timeshares. Does anyone know where to get information about timeshares? She is one who does not know much about how it works. Yeah, I know a little bit about timeshares. I don't know if anybody has timeshare experience. Perhaps that's a great place. You can post it here or post it on Facebook. You guys can connect. I really don't know much about that, Linda. I'm sorry, but let's see if anybody else has any input there. Jenny wants to know how many cabins, how many RC cabins are required for a partial ship charter. Let me see. With AMA, I think you know what? I actually don't remember, Jenny. It's either 10 or 20. It's either 10 or 20, and it might be 10 to do a partial ship charter. And remember, what a charter means is you're making a commitment, and you can't give those cabins back. You're buying them. Now, you have a payment schedule. You do. But you're on your own. And you're buying specific cabins as well, specific staterooms. It's very exciting to do. It's risky. I'm in a risky situation, but I believe it's going to work, because I counted on that. My mom was going to bring a couple of her closest friends, and same with my in-laws too. And things are coming together really nice. But you can't push people, especially with a river cruise. You can't push it. Jalal says, my quote is for small group, max 15. It's personalized, and the hotels are four. Here we go. And you don't need to go into a herd of people. See, this is big too. People think it's go with a cheaper price, but then they could be it's not a private group anymore. It's a public group, and these are the specific details to get to know. And you don't have to go to a herd of people. And you offered once more that they can pay by credit card, no surcharges, and they can go with you. Oh, and Jalal says thanks to me. Thank you. I'm glad it worked for you. This stuff works. Here, proof positive that this works. So when somebody comes back and, I found a cheaper price, you know what to say. You're comfortable. You're confident. And you know what, right, Jalal? If they still don't want to book with you, they're going to go with the cheaper price. Trust me. They're going to come back kicking themselves that they should have booked with Jalal. They wouldn't have had that stress. They wouldn't have had that risk. They wouldn't have had that inconvenience. They're going to come back saying, it cost us more. Jalal, you were right. I guarantee it. You guys know it. You guys know that. Great story, Jalal. Thank you very much. Gina, as a travel professional, nope. Okay, here's Gina. And then, Elaine, we're going to get to yours. I promise. If I were a participant at an event and paid for my space as a travel professional, I'm not sure that I'd be very happy to know and find out later that someone who didn't pay to participate was allowed to solicit the attendees. Could be looked as a conflict of interest. So, Gina, I think you're commenting on that question that Tricia had earlier, and I understand that. Yeah. So basically what Gina is saying, we're going back to Tricia's comment about that promotion insurance, that if the people who have bought a booth, right, Gina, that's what you're saying. If you bought a booth and you're there specifically to make new friends, build your list, collect leads and so forth, that somebody who didn't buy the booth is still figuring out how to do it. I don't know. I don't know the details about this. I really don't know. It could be that. It could be totally legit, and this is just an opportunity that anybody would take advantage of, or maybe there's no other travel companies there. I have no idea, but Gina, your point is well taken too, and it'd be great to reach out to Tricia to see if she can help, or you can help. Jalal says, I think getting objections is fun as it gives you a chance to take the challenge on and show your professionalism comes out, plus the joy you get. Absolutely. I think it's awesome, Jalal, that you have that attitude. And everybody who's on the call today, may you all share Jalal's attitude, which is, I'm confident. And if you challenge me on this price point, I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm not going to beat around the bush. But ultimately, I can't control where you end up purchasing, because remember, I don't own you, and I'm talking as a travel agent, right? You guys, you don't own the client. I love it when a travel professional says, oh, that's my client. Really? Did they sign a contract with you? Right? They have some kind of a rental agreement with you that 100% of the business must come through you? I don't think so. No. I've said this before. I do my main, what I love to do, I love professional speaking. And by the way, if you guys have any conferences or conventions for your consortium, for your franchise or whatever, and you want to see if I can come and teach, whether it's on groups or do a keynote and anything else, let them know, let me know. This is what I love to do. But when I get off the stage at an event, I'm fired. I'm done until the next time I get that phone call that I'm rehired. It's the same for you guys, for travel professionals. When that client comes back from that trip, or even when they pay you and it's done, but really when they come back from that trip, so really it's over, you're fired. You're completely fired. You're done until they hire you again. Jalal says he's going to let Tommy know. That's really cool. And let's see, Melanie, happy days in timeshare owner's life is the same as a boat owner. Let me read this. This is going back to who asked the question about timeshare. Oh my goodness, I don't see it. Hold on. I just want to read this here because we got a lot of people typing. It's really cool. The happiest day, this is Melanie saying, the happiest day in a timeshare owner's life is the same as the boat owner. The day he or she buys it and the day he or she sells it. Wow. That's not a very good endorsement of timeshare now, is it? Yes, and Jalal agreed that it's better to let them go than have the stress of dealing with them, right? The thing is, once you discount, right? Once you agree to price match, once you strip it down, they're going to expect that every time. And when you're doing groups, there is nothing worse than having a group knowing they're going to beat you up because they expect the price discount or they're going to walk away. You want clients who are going to come back and book and book and book again in a positive way because they know you, they love you, you validated yourself. They would never think of booking that group without you versus knowing you're going to get that phone call and they're going to beat the daylights out of you for price. And it's okay to say goodbye to that business, right? So it may not be easy. It may hurt. It may sting a little bit, but let them be somebody else's nightmare. I'll say it again. Let them be somebody else's nightmare. Gina says, correct. And Jalal says, thanks for listening and sharing. You, of course. Let's see. Gina says, Travel Quest National Meeting in Minnesota, September 2016. All right, Gina, I tell you what. If you just tell him you know me. Tell him I've heard this guy Cohen. He's not too bad. Let's have him at the conference. Tell me who. I'll reach out. I'll make a phone call. Introduce myself. But if you could just open up a door for me, I don't know who to talk to there. It would be indeed my pleasure. I would love it, and we'd get the chance to hang out. All right, here we go. I'm going to ask the question that Elaine sent in, and I'm watching the boards here. So far, nobody wants to turn their microphone or their camera on, but keep pumping those questions through. This is really great. We're covering a lot of ground today, and I'm so glad that you're here. And I don't know if you noticed, but every once in a while, I keep glancing up. See, I have these big floor-to-ceiling windows here in my office, and I'm here in Memphis, and this is now day 3 of heavy rains. Spring rains. This is what happens around now. And from New York, this is weird to me because when it rains here, holy cow, does it rain. Serious rains. Wow. But normally it, 15 minutes, boom, there's an enormous deluge and it's over. Well, this is now day 3 and it's supposed to rain through the weekend and we've got a half marathon to run Sunday. If anybody of you are my Facebook friends, you know that I ran a marathon, a full marathon in New Orleans two Sundays ago, one Sunday ago. Yeah, then that was a full marathon, and now we cap off our running season with a half marathon locally right here, but it's going to be raining, and that's going to be yucky and messy. I don't know if any of you guys run or bike. Okay, Elaine, here's your question. I promised I'd get to it. All right, listen up, everybody, because I always want to get your feedback. I'm working with two groups at the moment, and the level of, quote, bloody impossible of some of the guests makes me think I would be wise to take out some sort of business insurance. Any advice, Stuart Lloyd Cohen? All right, so we're looking at here, this looks like a challenging group, and then two groups. And Elaine refers to the guests as bloody impossible and makes her think that she should take out some kind of business insurance. And I'm going to throw this out for everybody to see what you guys do, because we've got a lot of Elaine. What's great is you're in an environment here of we definitely have some folks who are generally new to the travel business, but more often than not, most members are veterans. They've been in the travel industry for many years and been around the block a few times. I want to know if any of you have ever, if you have general business insurance, which certainly may be required in your local city or your local town or your village, or certainly in Canada, I know that. Or do you take out extra insurance when you're dealing with a specific group? I believe that you should let your gut give you the answer there. See, I'm a guy who I believe in intuition. Sometimes I'm wrong. Most of the time I'm right. You know, you get that feeling, you get that pit in your stomach, you get the tingles about something, that you should be doing something or you shouldn't be doing something, and you need to make a change. In this case, Elaine, I have a feeling it's a little birdie telling you to protect yourself. I don't think we can protect ourselves enough, especially when we realize that there's some inherent risk. Normally, I recommend not just an agreement letter with a group, which is a definite always, and it's in boot camp, but if it's something that's more complex, where there's risk, there's some sense of liability, perhaps with a fundraising group, then a contract, using an attorney to draft a contract between the two parties is important. I also believe that having insurance with your specific group is important too. What I would recommend you do, Elaine, is why don't you give, and you know boot camp is really commercial free, is nonpartisan, but I do invite select suppliers in to speak. I pick them because sometimes they're my friends, but most importantly, I believe in them. I believe in their company, and I know that their company, they support travel professionals. I will never bring a person or a company in here that does not totally support and embrace you as distribution system. So, when I mention Isaac again, or Susan, call Susan Barbanel at Travel Insured, at the Travel Insured, call Susan. If you need her phone number or email address, send me an email and I'll send it to you. But I think they can help. Okay. But the bottom line answer there is, Elaine, and I don't know if you already have, I don't want to make assumptions, you already have an insurance provider against, event insurance that basically protects you against liabilities, lawsuits, even slip and falls, this kind of stuff. And it may have to be some kind of a special add-on to your current business insurance that you have, in addition to E&O insurance, let's say. But I'm going to check the board to see if anybody else has stuff that they have contacted here. Okay. Oh, Gina referring to the Travel Quest. Bonnie Lee at Travel Quest, and that I'm doing a course for travel leaders. Okay. Travel Quest is part of Travel. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Oh, I'm in very tight with travel leaders. I've done a lot of work for them, a lot of work with them. I have a separate, different online boot camp with them. It's called Turning Inbox Leads to Sales. That's one of my two books. I have a book on loyalty, and I have a book on how to turn those leads that drop in your box, you don't know who they are, into sales, into clients. So I built them an online boot camp. So thank you, Bonnie Lee, Gina. I'm going to reach out and I'm going to say, Gina sent me, and I'll make a new friend and see if I can help. Thank you so very, very much for that recommendation. Just like you, I depend on referrals for my speaking and training business. Okay, Patty says we're back to the insurance thing, Elaine. Now, listen up, everybody. Patty says that she does have insurance. She has both her own E&O and general business policies. CYA, or I guess CMA. What's CYA or CMA? Is that the name of the insurance, Patty? I'm sorry if I'm being ignorant here. Or is that an abbreviation like LOL? Laughing out loud. I don't know. So just tell me, Patty. So there you go, Elaine. And general business poly insurance. I think that's great. Melanie says she trusts her E&O insurance. Any travel seller who doesn't have it is asking for trouble, and also incorporated. Yeah, absolutely. Because being incorporated, of course, can help protect you further, because there's a change in liability if you're a corporation, even a subchapter S, which is a little fuzzy, but still gives you protections. So thank you, Melanie, for sharing that. Gina says, oh, thank you very much. She's the CEO, and you've given me the phone number. I'm very grateful. Thank you. I will definitely call Bonnie. Elaine says, great advice. Thank you. I'd love to connect with Susan at Travel Insured. Great. Give her a buzz. Tell her I sent you and see what she has to say. And then also, I know you posted this in boot camp, Elaine, which is great. So everybody on, and I not everybody's on for boot camp now, naturally, but I would encourage everybody, because I gotta believe what I love about best practice sharing is best practice sharing. Other people have done other things, have other ideas, have other recommendations, and it's real-time suggesting, which I love. Melanie says, how do non-travel agents get away with running group travel but do not have SOT licenses, insurance? Several in my area do this, and it drives me nuts. They also do not let agents join their travel club type trips. I don't know, Melanie. How do non-travel agents get away with running group travel but do not have SOT licenses or insurance? I really don't know. The issue comes down, I believe, Melanie, you can't blame the consumer because they don't know any better. What you have to blame is the supplier who's accepting the booking and paying a commission. You have to blame the supplier who's accepting the booking and paying commission. So not that you should, it's up to you if you have time or want to, if you're really convicted about this and you want to make some waves, is to find out what suppliers they're using and ask the local rep. Say, ask the local rep. I don't understand something. How are they booking with you? They're not insured. They're not a real travel professional, because it's really fuzzy. This whole business is fuzzy. Anybody could call themselves a travel professional. Real estate, you have to be licensed. There's really no licensing board for travel professionals. You can get your certification from CLIA, but that's not required. You can be certified through Travel Institute, but that's not a requirement. So that's a great question. Oh, Patty says, CYA. I got it. And Melanie, everybody. Boy, am I slow. Melanie knew it. Patty knew it. Mickey knew it. CYA. Cover your... This is a family show. I could say it. Cover your ass. So CYA. There you go. Absolutely. Get the insurance. Whatever money it's going to cost. It's just like when you talk to people who are going on your group, your travelers, and they're like, do I need insurance? And they should. They should cover their behinds against the things that they least expect could happen. All right, we've got just 2 minutes left, so I want to see if Linda writes, everybody knew what CYA meant, and she's a nurse and she uses that phrase all the time. yeah. Listen, I don't know, when I saw because she also wrote CMA, I guess cover my. I don't know why, but I'm thinking Country Music Awards. When you live so close to Nashville, country music is on your mind here. But now I get it. So sorry. All right, we've got 60 seconds left, or 2 minutes left. I want to know if anybody's got any last minute questions for me. Remember, before I let you go, hang on, because I like to give you the countdown when we're going to end. Hey, listen, if you got to go, go. But if you could stay 1 more minute. The next Ask Stuart Hour is March 22. If you have an expert And this just came to mind that you think I should bring onto the show that can add value. They represent a company that are big advocates, big supporters of travel professionals. Let me know. I'd be happy to reach out and see if that person, that executive, would like to join us here, or they could be just a super duper group hero or something. Because maybe once a month or so, I like to have a special guest on. A special guest edition Ask Stuart Hour. Otherwise, let me just see if there's anything else. Anything else? Jalal says, "You rock, Stuart. I really enjoy." You're very welcome. Thank you very much. You rock for being here. Linda says, "Thank you, Stuart. You're most welcome." All right, everybody. We are doing a 10-second countdown right now. It is a wrap. If you have any friends who need boot camp, send them my way. I'll take good care of them. And I love thanking you for your referrals to boot camp, because we're doing a membership drive right now, because I think we haven't reached a tipping point yet, but we're on the way. When I hear great stories from you guys at Group Launch Sequence and the group agreement letter, these things are working, they're transforming, and they're transforming you in different ways. Different things resonate with different agents. And that's what makes me happy, that I have a variety here. If you think I need more of something, less of something, you let me know. Right now, I just couldn't be more happy that you just spent this hour with me right now. And I wish you the very best of happy sales. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.